Okay. Another episode, another day. I'm not so sure if this is the 8th one or the 9th one. It doesn't really matter. This isn't really relevant other than for reference. 8 might never show up. Might show up twice. You never know. So anyways, I figure on this episode, I'm going to touch upon what I believe is a path forward for America. Okay, why not? Nobody really talks about that sort of thing. So, because I feel like people got to rise up, and that things just, everything's going to, I assume everything's going to collapse in a pretty bad way. And we can either the lords and the serfs, if you will. In other words, the privileged few, and then the masses are all going to be, no opportunities. I mean, there's nations that you can use as examples for that sort of thing anyways, Russia would be one. You're either peon, if you will, or, one of the oligarchs. And they're nasty regimes in all these cases. So if America ends up this way, it's going to be a nasty regime. It's going to be run by terror, sort of, terror, okay? If you're not toeing the line, you can be thrown in a stalag, if you will, an American stalag. We have more prisoners already than any other nation in the world, including Russia. So, we're not above putting people in jail. We're obviously not above committing mass murder. Killing people is, it's collateral damage. You know what I mean? As long as it's somebody else, it's fine. So, I think the world's going to come tumbling down. And that's more from an economic sort of thing. It's like inevitable. If you kind of research it all, it's like you can't kick the can anymore. The debt is just too high. It's higher than we could possibly. I watch a ton about it, and I can't even make 3 sentences about it because it's all just criminal. It's all fake. Really, it collapsed in 2008, and it's been collapsed ever since. This is just sort of band-aids. So it's getting bigger. The debt's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And you can bet that the privileged few at the top will be covering their asses, and they'll know exactly when it's going to go tumbling down. I've already covered that. So, if it does come tumbling down, we can either take it up to where as a mass of people, or hopefully we may somehow squeak and get another election. I'm very questioning that will even possibly happen with who's in there right now. So it depends on if the military and people involved with that whole thing become tyrants, go out there in the streets and kill their own citizens, or unjustifiably detain them and do all the things that tyrants haven't done. You know what I mean? So if soldiers are willing to do that, if soldiers are willing to march into Palestine and mow down the rest of the Palestinians, what can you do? What can you say about that? Do they consider themselves Americans, or do they consider themselves Nazis? I mean, you can't have both. You can't have both. That would be Nazism, obviously, okay? What I'm talking about is Nazism, it's fascism, whatever word you want to use. Terrorism would be a pretty good description, and just disgusting. There's a lot of words. So what to do if that happens? I mean, you have to at some point say we're not gonna tolerate that, and hopefully there's enough military that doesn't help their cause, and support fascism, and hopefully they just become American. You know what I mean? Do the right thing. So to all those who hold guns, police, CIA people, NSA people, FBI people, military, you gotta ask yourself a big question. Do I want to be a pawn under this dictatorship upcoming, which is probably what it's going to head to, or do you want to be, who just blindly follows orders, like these soldiers that went to Iraq and blindly mass murdered people, and there's soldiers that went to Afghanistan, and they know they did. That's why they're coming back and popping themselves in the head by the 10,000 a year or whatever. And it's terrible. It's not their fault. They're patriots, just like my dad was a patriot in World War II. The only difference is they're being duped to thinking that they're doing, saving America, when in fact they're just being terrorists for whatever sick reason Bush decided to go in there in the first place, and whatever sick reason Obama decided to keep it going for another 8 years, and then Trump, well, let me keep it going for another 4 years, and Biden, I'll give him one brownie point. At least he got us out of there. It was discussing how he did it, and there's no debate there, but at least we're not embroiled in two wars that are not wars at all. They're just terrorist campaigns by the United States of America. Yeah, go genocide. Nobody could tell me what those wars were for, because nobody knows what they were for. You know what I mean? Oh, we're chasing Al Qaeda around. Oh, we're chasing the terrorist group of the month around. I mean, come on. So, assuming everything comes tumbling down, assuming the military, hopefully, cross your fingers, doesn't decide to, turn into Nazi Germany, and or even Russia, or just something like that, where you basically have no rights, there's no elections, we got a king, a dictator, I prefer to call it. So that's all the earmarks are there. Anybody who looks at this with any half a brain knows that, look at the appointments he's doing. It's a fiasco. He's trying to make it an obvious fiasco. So this is not starting well, and it won't end well, would be my guess. So why am I doing this and talking about this? Is because I think society's got to wake up and get together right now, and start joining forces, if you will, and make my dog's barking in the background. I apologize for that. Get together and sort of like envision where this is going to go. And my suggestion is this. It's very simple. We've had the Federalist Party of the past. Now, should we bring the Federalist Party back? I mean, I'm pretty sure we've had presidents of other parties that don't exist right now. Federalists might be one of them. No, they're dead. Federalist Party's dead. And now we need 2 more dead parties. And I think you all can guess what they are. One begins with D, and has an ass as a sort of logo, and the other one begins with a G, or is it R? Anyways, it's R officially, but these 2 parties that we have right now, they should be just goodbye, start over. That's the only way we're going to ever recover. So, we have 2 other parties already in existence that are pretty well known here in America. That would be the Green Party and the Independent Party. So we don't have to go, as Americans, create a new party. Although, ain't the worst idea in the world. So it's an option. Because parties do get created over, history of American history. If you look back, parties were created, I'm not even so sure either of these parties now are even in existence. I should have researched. I'm not one to research that much. I just kind of spout off, and here it is, and you guys can research it. Get busy. Come on, get to work. So basically, I think that the masses have got to get together. Even how we run elections, I think they got to run elections, but elections should be run differently, in a different way somehow, in a better way. Although I don't have a big complaint about how elections are run, but it's just too much opportunity. Like I said, what I feel is like there's a good chance that this last election was actually rigged. I mean, the people, the muckety-mucks that basically are behind the scenes on the whole information flow of the internet and what have you, they could definitely do something on a few states, if you will, that were teetering Harris's way, if you will, and they could go Trump's way. But, I'm not saying it happened. I'm just saying the possibilities are definitely there. And I don't know. I have thoughts on how to run a different type of election that's more, let's do it. I personally, you want to know my thoughts? That there's no real elections. That it's more of a lottery system. And you can put your name in the hat, and if you get called, do you want to do this for... That's it. That's it in a nutshell. On every position. And then you can go up the level, if you will. And there's only one term limit. You can't be a career senator. You can't be a career mayor. He can't be a career, well, I'm not going to say, you can be a career dog catcher. Maybe at lower levels there's more continuum, if you will, and it could be more of a career type of thing. But that's on the local scene. The federal scene, no. So obviously same thing with DOJ, or I call it DOI, Department of Injustice, and the supreme, white supremacist sort of thing that's going on in the Supreme Court. Although we have Clarence Thomas, is he the token black man, or is he secretly white? I don't, he's kind of hard to understand. I do understand that he definitely got caught doing something terrible to Anita Hill and was brought up in front of the Senate committee. Well, Joe Biden, the ultimate judge of it, basically gave him a pass. Even all the warning signs were there about that guy. Yeah, it's a big deal back then. Probably some people know about that, obviously, older people like me. So just the fact that, you get their lifelong position. Obviously, if you could do a redo, same thing. It's 4 years, next, and you have to go level up, and you have to put your name in the hat, and it's a lottery pick, and, there's obviously no lobby. No lobby groups anywhere. Not allowed. No money. No nothing. You want to make your point, you do it publicly on video somewhere, and anybody can go look at it, and, there should be a lot more information. It should be a lot more transparent, if you will, everything. Every aspect of government. This is our government. This is our society that we want done properly. You know what I mean? It can't be backdoor lawyer shit. Okay, lawyers are my least favorite group of people on the planet, and maybe super corrupt accountants right beside them, money managers. That can effectively keep billionaires from paying a dime. Hi, Mike. So anyways, yeah, it's a pretty sad state of affairs in this country. I think everybody's got to be more real patriot rather than these fake patriots, but I could call them. Really care about the country, care about each other. These two-party systems, have two parties that like each other would be the best thing. And if there's no career, no career. Okay, let me go back to that for a second. I envision it as like the total lottery system. All right, you put your name in the hat. There is no campaigning. If you're a citizen of the United States and you want to be, it starts at a certain level, and then if you successfully do that and you get good grades, okay, almost like you get grades from the general public, then you can put your name in the next hat, and you might not get it because but you might get it 10 years later and be asked if you want to do it still, and then that should be a 6-year deal, each one of these things. I said 4, but I think it should be 6. Reason being, it should be 4 years, that you're kind of doing it on your own. The next 2 years, you're training the next person who got the pick. So it's always 4 as just you, and 2 with another one. But that might even be 2 because your first 2, yeah, that's how it would work. Your first 2, you would be training with your predecessor. Your next 2, you're going to be by yourself. Your next 2, you're going to be training, the one that's following up behind you. So there'll always be somebody who knows what they're doing. You know what I mean? Rather than get this whole new group in that has, no continuing sort of momentum, if you will. So, and every party, if there's 2 parties that just are about America, I don't know. I don't even think you need parties, come to think of it. I mean, in this one here, it's just a lottery system, sort of. Not even really sort of. It's definitely like it's a big event. Oh, who is it? And then, the phone call or something. I mean, you could do it so it's kind of a must-see TV, you know what I mean? But yeah, that way there can't be any real corruption. They're just there. They want to do the right thing for their country or for their city or for the town or for their state. I mean, all these various things would still exist. Like governor still exists, mayor still exists, dog catcher still exists, president still exists, all senators. What would be revamped is a thorough review of how the Senate works, how the House of Representatives work. It would be a result of the lottery system, the people in there. So you might just keep it totally the way it is. But if there's there's issues the way it's set up right now. But those could be talked about. I could go into that for a friggin' day. But it's it's more like lottery type of deal, and we're all into lotteries now, right? And we've been trained. How about play your number, right? So yeah, again, if you meet the credentials, and I don't think college is necessary. You know what I mean? I think if you have a high school degree, you can put your name in the hat. You can learn. I only had a high school degree basically because I don't have a college degree. I did do a year of college, and you're listening to me right now. So it's not like having a college degree necessarily makes you smarter. Sometimes I think it might actually make you dumber. Just kidding. If you party too much. So anyways, yeah, I think also juries should be the same way. Judges should be the same way. All lottery, and you can move up the chain if you want. Like Superior Court should be the last level that you could possibly go, but all the judges can step it up. I think that salary restriction on all those things should be severely, like judges and lawyers and all them. There's got to be a lot of ridiculous changes on how courts work. Zoom stuff can definitely happen with jurors. It should be a lottery, and the lawyers should not be able to choose for their jurors. Make brief decision if I'm a proper juror for them or not, if I can sway their decision or not. It should strictly lottery. Boom, you're a juror. Here it is, and then severe time limits for the actual case. You got 4 hours. You got 4 hours, and then we'll make a. After artificial, sounds like a joke, but it's true. The information should be fed into ChatGPT or an AI sort of bot, and the bot should either before the jury makes a decision or after the jury makes a decision, they make a decision. Artificial intelligence, which is so much brighter than us. So sometimes AI actually has some benefit, and that might be some severe benefit because AI is just gonna, make a decision based on, what's being input, and really it should be limited in the amount of input. It's like you got 4 hours, state your case. You got 4 hours, state your case. I don't care if it's, Parkland's shooter or if it's a guy who, stole, $12 from McDonald's. It's all the same. You got 4 hours, you got 4 hours. Figure it out. No more sensational trials ever again. No more money grabs by lawyers, which is all the sensational trials are about. Exposure and serious ass money they're all making, ones on TV are making $500 plus an hour. You know what I mean? So just do the math. It goes on for months, and then they want a retrial. Like the Karen Reed, for example, in Massachusetts. She certainly didn't deserve a 2-month trial, okay? Nor does she deserve another 2-month trial. Free her. She was pretty much put on everything anyways. But no, we're not supposed to know that. It's secret. So yeah, there's a lot of injustice in the Department of Injustice, and that's certainly a screaming example of it. I don't care what she did. She had a fight with her boyfriend. That's what happened. Things go wrong sometimes. Wasn't intentional, whatever happened. So anyways, yeah, I think that Democratic Party should be just thrown away. The Republican Party should be thrown away. The puppeteers, the puppeteers, the puppets run the show. They're running the show, puppets are. So yeah, it's just terrible. It's absolutely terrible what's happened as far as corporations and big banks and big military and big name a 3-letter agency. It's all like one thing. I keep explaining because that's what it is. People don't realize that, when you go voting for president, it's like, who do they want? Not what we want. So that's where I feel like, they wanted Donald Trump and they fixed it to make sure Donald Trump won this time around. I wouldn't be falling over backwards with shock if that ever came out. Let's put it that way. I can't, maybe, half the population or better than half is, the problem is we didn't have another alternative choice that was Well, I did. I mean, if you want to call Kamala Harris an alternative choice to Donald Trump, it's a effing horrible one, all right? The Democrats are morons. How they ran the campaign was moronic. How they didn't have a primary was moronic. Everything about them, they're money grabbing. They're just as money grabbing as the Republicans. So they're all compromised. None of them are really doing what they're supposed to do. They're doing what their wallet tells them to do. And then most of them are compromised anyway. They're all sort of, it's organized crime. Let's just call it what it is. So once you're in organized crime long enough, then you're a criminal and you have stuff against you that you could go to jail for. You know, all these people probably have, I would assume, a whole lot of stuff hidden away that if it was found out, they'd be doing some serious time. But you know, they own the court system. You know, I mean, look at what just happened. Matt Gaetz. I mean, anybody else, he's in jail for a long time, right? What he's done with minors and the whole 9 yards, and on video and everything. I mean, I'm not saying the sex that he actually had with a 17-year-old was on video, but everything about the trip was, and well, you don't really know because the Republican parties decided to make that top secret. You know what Matt Gaetz really did. You know what I mean? Yeah, we can't have that get out. We want him as our Attorney General. It's just sick. It's so twisted that it's unbelievable. You know what I mean? So any of you voted for Trump, you voted for that, okay? You were all duped. If you're a Trump lover, you're just duped. You're just stupid. There's a book, and I mean stupid. If you take a rock and you drop it on your foot, your bare foot, while your foot's sitting on cement, and big old rock like this, and it breaks two of your toes and gashes gas. I don't know if I used that example before, but that's stupid. I'm just using an example of stupid. There is stupid. Stupid exists. And there's a book. I'm going to buy it on Amazon because I love supporting Amazon. I actually want to see if Amazon still delivers to me because I had a little thing. I sent them back some crap because they sent me crap. And kind of bad. It didn't backfire. It's like they probably, who knows? That's a long story itself. But you know, I ordered something from a vendor. It wasn't right. I wrote, this isn't right. It was 2 remotes. Both of them supposed to work. Well, only one of the remotes worked. It's a little $15 thing, you know, small item. So I said it, and I gave them another chance because I figured, well, I can use the one remote for something else, you know. So I sent back, same thing, 2 remotes. I just figured, okay, you know, shit happens. Again, 2 remotes, only one of them worked. So I sent them back the 2 remotes that didn't work, along with some, you know, parts from my printing past, you know what I mean? So they're probably thinking they're bombs or something. I don't know. That was certainly not my intent, but I just said, you know, I'm just thinking, yo, if I saw that on X-ray, but what the hell is that? Because they were really weird things. I have a whole, you know, I was a printer for over 40 years, so I have kind of some interesting components and this and that. I decided, well, I can part with this one, I can part with that one, and so that's what I sent back. They sent me a package back. This isn't really meant to be this. I'll end it on this. A package back, just a flat pack. This is Amazon. Totally fraud. They, you know, I ordered a couple books and they didn't give me the books, and you know, so that was the way they got their money. You know, it was more or less an even thing of money-wise, but you know. So since then, I haven't ordered anything from Amazon, and I don't want to support Amazon, but I'll buy this book from Amazon because it's just super convenient, and it's probably under $10. You know, I don't even want to get out of my seat for $10 because I don't like to work. But so I want the stupid book, and I'm going to end on the stupid book because there is a book. I forget the name. It has the word stupid in it. And you know, if you've watched any of my stuff about mass psychosis, that's a chapter, if you will, in the stupid book because that's another example of stupidity. So anybody under the trance of Donald Trump, Trumpism, what have you, which is kind of like a mass psychosis, it's a trance. They're hypnotized almost. Like there's ways that people can mess with your brains, and the people that the oligarchy has those people working for them. So they can certainly influence the masses out there. And the lower intelligent of the masses are easy to manipulate, easier. So there's different levels of stupid. There are 4 different levels actually. So I'm gonna get the stupid book, and I'm gonna start putting people here on this video's names in the stupid book because I wasn't impressed by my basketball team, and I'll end it on this note. Boston Celtics, Abby, Scal. I mean, Scal, you're like pronouncing how great George W. Bush was the other day, and I'm like, you know, like he's some hero, and I'm like, buddy, you're going in my stupid book. Abby's like the other day, she's down in Washington D.C. They're all much like it's they're at Disneyland. She's never looked so happy, and I'm like, Abby, guess what? Your name's in the stupid book, because it's just you are the people, and I'm not going to mention any of their Celtics names. I would think that Jaylen Brown would be one that would. I don't even know how much of the team went down there. I would think he would be the kind of person that might not go down there on principle, but yeah, I wouldn't. I can tell you, there's no way I'm going to Washington, D.C. and make it like it's the holiday. Here, meanwhile, it's the party that's gone, and maybe gone forever in another month or two. And already it's kind of like we're in this sort of limbo in between, you know what I mean? And they're going down, Washington, D.C., yeah, give me a break. And, to the very people that are committing mass genocide. Oh well, and George W. Bush gets the blue ribbon when it comes to mass genocide, probably in the history of mankind. I don't know. There's a lot of front runners there. So I'm already way too long here. Sorry for the over. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, sorry about that, guys. I have to go my outro. Why,